TIFU by making my dad cry. My dad and I never really had the best relationship in the world. We always ended up arguing every time I came over. It was always yelling and me end up leaving. My mom invited me for lunch because it was my big brother's birthday. We were celebrating until my dad came out of his cave. He hugged my brother and tried to hug me too. But I pushed him back with hatred and didn't make an eye contact or say a word to him. I saw his smile fade and I've never seen that face he made. As the asshole that I am, I didn't apologize or care and went on with my day celebrating my brother's birthday. My mom wanted me to stay the night and I agreed. Surprisingly, my dad was nowhere around. I asked my mom where he was and she said she had no clue. We started playing games and my mom gave me 3 cards. It had my birth date on each one. I opened each of them and it was all from my dad. My mom explained how he wanted to give me these cards for my birthday. But we always ended up fighting. I wanted to find my dad and talk to him, but I couldn't find him anywhere. I came out of the house and went to the little shed. The lights were on and there was this little window I could peek on. And there it is. My dad was crying. I've never seen him cry before. He was holding something in his hands and it was a picture of me when I was a baby. He was hugging it while tears was running from his face. I felt so bad my stomach and heart dropped and I wanted to cry. I realized how much I've really messed up. I really didn't know what to do, so I just left. Sat on my car for a moment. And left without saying goodbye. I cried thinking about my dad crying, and it's probably one of the heartbreaking things I've seen. I want to go back and hug him and tell him how sorry I was for everything. If I could just go and tell him all of this, I would. I broke my dad, the man who sacrificed everything for me. I don't know if I can ever show my face on his household again. I know this is all my fault. If I just showed him respect, none of this would have happened. TLD or made my dad cry because I pushed him back when he tried to hug me. How did it ever get to this point? That you're even willing to use words like hatred in reference to him? How can it be that you're willing to literally hate him for years? And then want to go hug him because you feel so bad about the past? This really sounds like you need a counselor to help you unpack this. Dude, why are you even wasting time writing on here? Get your ass back in the car and go give that man a hug. You are both still alive. You still have time. Just go give him a hug. You probably don't have to say a dang thing. If I could just go and tell him all of this, I would. You were literally there. Just set up a date to have a lunch with him and go talk to him about everything. Never too late to go back and say you're sorry. My little sister and I got into an argument. She was overseas in the military. At the end of our last conversation I said, "I love you." She said she hated me. Then a month or 2 later she was killed by an IED. I know she didn't hate me. But it still hurts. That's the last thing that was said. Point is, your dad loves you and you both are still alive. Don't wait to make up for it. Personally, if it was me, I'd show up tomorrow with a big hug and ask to talk. It's not too late, op. I only saw my father a couple of times a year growing up. And I hated him for it. When I grew up and moved out, I didn't see him much. And he always called on my birthday and holidays. But most of the time I just ignored it. Even the night before he passed away, he tried to talk to me and I just said I will talk to him in the morning. This was over 20 years ago. And I've always wished I could have at least talked to him that last time. So call. Or better yet, show up at your home and apologize. Maybe explain to him why you hate him. And just talk it out. Don't live with a lifetime of regrets. Especially when it's family. I want to go back and hug him and tell him how sorry I was for everything. This is a goal. That is very much achievable. We believe in you. He tried to reach out and you shut him down. It's your turn. And it's gonna be harder cause you just hurt him. Seems like you both wouldn't mind a better relationship. But it'll take a bit of reaching out on both sides. But for real, it's your turn. At least shoot him a somewhat thoughtful text. And do it sooner rather than later. Up. It sounds like you want to mend that relationship. Clearly he does too. Give each other another chance. As someone who lost his dad from parental separation young, only for him to pass away before we could truly reconcile. Long private story. It sounds like in your heart it's time to put things aside. I'd drive over there and just give your dad a hug. Don't say anything. Just cry together. Forgive and forget. Move on and be thankful you still have each other. Quote. If I could just go and tell him all of this, I would. What's stopping you? Quit wallowing in your own self-pity and make things right. Go back and tell him. Like most Redditors suggested, you're both still alive, so try to make reconcile. But more importantly, what caused the lead up to this relationship state? You should address that problem too. Go apologize and give the dude a hug. I've had a similar relationship with my father. Though for reasons I won't get into here. Him and I argued over everything when I became a teenager and realized some things about my childhood. He's aging now, and doing so poorly. He went from an unstoppable force to a brittle old man, seemingly overnight even though it took years. We're at a point where one wrong move will literally be the end of what little good health he has. And I'm just waiting for the phone call saying he's passed. We have a better relationship now. But I can't help but feel guilty over the years I lost with him when we would have been able to better enjoy each other's company. Even after everything. You don't want that regret. Some of the work probably needs to come from him too. But take the first steps in healing this before it's too late. I don't know what happened for you to resent your father so much. But it sounds like you might be ready to forgive him for it, and it sounds like he loves you. You should talk to him as soon as you possibly can. We never know how much time we have left. Life is short. I don't know exactly what has happened between you and your father. But it sounds like you two still care about each other. It's not too late to make amends. I didn't have a good relationship with my mother when she died. But I really wish we were able to make amends before she was gone. It's not too late for you. Swallow your pride and shame and make up with your dad. He loves you more than you will ever know, and you will feel so much better about everything if you go tell him you love him and give him the hug he wanted so much. Please just go and talk to him. Give him a hug. Tell him you love him. And mend the relationship. Our time here is too short, and before you know it, it's over.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.